Hey everyone, if you remember me, then hi. If not, then my name is Casey, and welcome to my channel. I'm aiming to make future gaming content, but right now I'm focusing on art, my OCs, and my original story. My goal with this channel was always like gaming and Minecraft roleplays, as I watched Minecraft Diaries on my street as a kid, and still enjoy the concept of the story and characters to this day. But right now I wanted to focus on art and trying to regrow my channel as best as possible. If you weren't aware, I used to have a pretty active community back then. I mainly had a gacha channel that focused on AFMAF stuff, specifically Garn's content. I had a series called Get Out of My Head, which got pretty popular, but I did end up deleting it due to the fact that it contained harmful stereotypes surrounding MLM couples. Of course, the older I got, I didn't like that series in any aspect, just for the writing of it, but mainly I didn't want to keep something like that up on my channel, and eventually it just led to me deleting all of the gacha content I had. The only video still up from those days was like a short animatic I did that didn't involve gacha at all, and I think you can still find it. I'm pretty sure it's public. That I made with the voice actors from After I Was My Street. I think it was specifically Lawrence's voice actor, and then it was Keston, or Dante and Zane's voice actor. But yeah, that series was just something I didn't want to keep on my channel, and I wanted to delete it because my goal is to represent people, and that series was more harmful than anything. Or it wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but it wasn't good in any aspect for the sake of representation. So I decided to remove it, and I do not regret that choice at all. I'm aiming to make my channel a place where I can talk about my characters and stories and have people be interested in them, while also feeling like they can enjoy the story and the characters through relating to them or any other similar aspect. Get Out of My Head was not getting me to that goal, though it is a more recent one. I'm 18 now, and I was 11 when I started doing gacha content, and then I think I deleted everything when I was like 15-ish. I don't know, but I'm hoping I can achieve that goal through my current content, or the content I want to create. I have an art series planned where I talk about my OCs while I'm drawing them in the background. As you can see here, I have my character Lucas, who I will get into later in the video. But this gives you guys a little glimpse into the story I'm writing, and it allows me to have outside views on the story, because it's not finished yet. There's a lot of plot holes, a lot of little aspects that are missing, but it helps because I can take any of the criticism that people find with it and like renovate basically my story, and focus on that and continue to grow on that before the day that I might actually be able to start creating it for the public to consume in full, instead of just like little bits and pieces through these videos. I started taking this story seriously in the last 2 years, and I was really thinking what I wanted to achieve with it. So now that I get to talk about it a little, I'm hoping to grow it even more, and I'm hoping to grow my channel even more. This is something I'm really passionate about, and I'm really excited about, and I'm excited to talk about them, so we should just get right into it. Because I'm excited. In the background here, as you can see me drawing, I have my character named Lucas Honor. He is an ex-sorcerer and well-known thief across all regions. He lives in a region, he lived in the region Etricar, where the god of wisdom and time is the ruler. And this god is able to grant sorcerers their powers, their abilities, stuff like that. Basically, people go through years of schooling to become a sorcerer, and in order to be one, you have to have finished your schooling and attend the sorcerer ceremony that occurs every few months. In this ceremony, the god appears themselves, being known to stay inside literally any other time, and they choose 2 to 3 new sorcerers. Typically, they choose older people around their late 30s and 40s, as schooling takes a while, and most don't really start till their late 20s. Lucas started his sorcerer education around 19 and became one of the youngest sorcerers during a ceremony when he was 24. After being granted these abilities, sorcerers are given gems that enhance their powers, and certain gems enforce certain abilities to specific degrees. The wisdom god saw a lot of potential in Lucas and was sure he'd be a great sorcerer, so he was gifted a green muscovade muscovite, I don't know. I'll put it there so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it's a rarer gem. Lucas was really proud with his abilities and his achievements, and he was really excited to go home and tell his family. However, Lucas's family is of higher status in the region, and the god of wisdom, who is also known as the god of stars, I probably should mention that earlier, isn't as respected as the sun goddess, who is the goddess of sentience and peace, or the moon god, who is the god of order and rationalization. Both the sun and moon gods gave their lives and immortality during what's called the Eclipse War. The wisdom god isn't as recognizable, even though they were the ones who told him that their sacrifice was the only way to stop the leak of life and death magic. Basically, the wisdom god came up with the whole plan and idea, and came to the conclusion that the only way they were going to prevent the leakage of this magic was if they had to sacrifice their lives. And it could have been any god, but the sun god and the moon god were very determined that it should have been them. Because of this, though, Lucas's family didn't really see his achievement as anything grand or anything like that. Rather, they saw it as something that would be expected of an honor to achieve, being so high status. It was just oh yeah, no, well, we'd expect you to achieve that, we're honors, stuff like that. So growing up, Lucas was always told to be better, and he always felt like he had to be good enough. So hearing this was kind of a breaking point that caused him to leave his family and turn to thievery. He started stealing in order to gain a sense of excitement that he didn't really get with his family. Instead of a happy excitement, he just likes the adrenaline of taking something without someone noticing. Or when they do notice and he's walked off enough to talk, take the blame off of him. But hearing the panic makes him feel excited that someone noticed something, even if it necessarily isn't noticing him in a positive light. Eventually, the wisdom god does realize that Lucas hit a certain point and needed to revoke this power, and said that Lucas had to meet with them up front and return their gem. He never showed up, though, and instead took an amethyst and altered it as grayish green color, so it wasn't noticeable at first that he never returned in his muscovite. I don't know, I'll figure out how to say it, I promise. He ran to the region Zarin, where he ran into his best friend, or now best friend, Gabriel, who was a thief was a pretty well-known thief, actually, known across Zarin. They became buddies, and after 2 years, they were a very known and difficult to catch thief duo across every region. You had a sorcerer who could cover their tracks whenever necessary with any magical abilities, and a werecat who knew the ins and outs of multiple places because he's already traveled so much. Lucas is an overthinker, though, and he's always thinking back and wondering if he should have left his family. But Gabriel has always been there to kind of help him when he overthinks too much, and it's what makes them a great duo because they always have each other's backs. And that's just all that I have for Lucas right now, backstory wise. But his character, if you can see through the art, is kind of quiet, down low. He doesn't really show a lot of expression. He just kind of keeps to himself a lot, and really the only person he talks with is Gabriel. And just kind of all of that. He doesn't like to get his hopes up a lot. He just kind of likes to stay in his own little personal bubble. Doesn't really tell anyone about these achievements he wants or anything like that. Just, he goes in and he gets the job done. So that's all about Lucas. He's really an interesting character that I'm having fun writing, and of course any feedback is appreciated. I'm not entirely done with his story yet, or his characterization, so I will accept any criticism that I can in order to improve his character more. But that's really all I have to talk about on Lucas for right now, which is so sucky because I love him so much. He's just so interesting, because at the end there, it does make him sound more of an antagonist, but when he runs into the main character, he's not necessarily mean, and he's not mean to other people when he meets them. He just will sometimes, every now and again, be oh, you have something that I want, and I'm gonna take it now. And people don't really realize until later, but he does help the main character later on, and it's kind of very back and forth. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of things I'm still figuring out. I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate the good as well as the bad, or really, I guess really none of it, kind of just showing his in-between, his very neutralness on things. But yeah, I'm so upset. I'm done talking about him because I really want to talk about him more, and I really just have nothing else to add on. Anyway, now that we've finished talking about Lucas's character and his design, and his backstory and everything, we can get into his design, which obviously might not be perfect, but that's the whole point of, coming back to YouTube and re-uploading stuff and trying to be more active again, is to get that kind of criticism. Basically, I'm going to start kind of with his facial features and his hair and move to his outfit and other little aspects on his design, and stuff like that. I try to give him facial expression wise kind of like his resting face, someone who looks like they don't really want to be talked to. Like, if you see this person in public and they're typically in their own little bubble, they don't really look like they want to be approached. That's kind of the look I tried to give him. But I also gave him some eye bags because I did mention earlier that he overthinks a lot, but also he's the main planner behind like his and Gabriel's little like thieving heist, and it's heist, I'm pretty sure, and stuff like that. He's always the one coming up with the ideas and the plans, so he typically stays up late in order to do those things. He's also a lot paler than he is than when he ran away, because he and Gabriel do live in a cave. It's just the best source of hiding that they have from the get-go, and they just kind of decide to stay there. It's a pretty good place to hide, and they can always move from cave to cave, because a lot of the time they'll sell the stuff that they steal for money, unless it's something just that cool and they need to hold on to it. Moving on, Lucas's hair, it starts off really short when he runs away, but it's longer, as you can see, like in the art and everything. The reason his hair is so long is because I kind of wanted to play into that little like Instagram and TikTok trend that was happening a while ago, where it was kind of like, it was like hair holds memories. So a lot of people would show their original characters like with short hair and they grew it out long, or long hair and they cut it short. And I kind of want to achieve that same feeling here, where it's kind of like his experiences with Gabriel and kind of like was happier memories than back when he was in Ettergar. So he had his long hair, wanted to kind of savor that idea where he has all these better memories with his best friend. His gloves, I actually did like our fingerless for a reason, because I don't think I mentioned this, and I might have messed up my wording in like when I was previously talking. But sorcerers don't need materials after they're granted their abilities by the god. I'm pretty sure I missed over that or misspoke there, and I don't know where, so I'm going to fix that here. When you're practicing to be a sorcerer, you do need certain tools to help you, but after you're given those abilities, you don't need anything to help you because you have those powers. The gems that you're granted only enforce those abilities. So in order to use them, though, their fingers or their hands do have to be exposed. So Lucas has a lot of fingerless gloves because he really only needs his fingers to use the abilities that he uses kind of on the daily. So those are more exposed, and he's typically their getaway, so he's more so kind of watching, kind of like the watch. He's trying to sit there and make sure that Gabriel's okay and looking out, making sure no one's coming, and he's their getaway. So his powers help them kind of like teleport away, or they can go invisible and get out without being seen, stuff like that. I won't really give him teleportation. I think invisibility is a little better. Anyway, then on his wrist, he has this bracelet with a gem in the middle. And by the way, it's red in the recording, but at the end I will show you the final picture. And I did change everything to like green and change the background and everything to look a little more appealing to the eye. And I try to play like into color symbolism a little bit. And I felt like green was a little more fitting for him. Anyway, so that's on his wrist, and it's in this little bracelet thing that he made. So that way it's always in his sight. He can always see it. And he knows that nothing's gonna come and kind of like take it from him. His like kind of belt thing that you see on his chest, because of the angle I can really draw it in, but he does have like a little bag attached to that they can put like coins or bracelets or any other thing that they steal inside of there. And then his belt, again, you can't see it, but it has more like bags and stuff. He basically he holds the majority of the stuff that they take until they can go turn it in or take it home, anything like that. The one thing that was supposed to stand out is most of his clothing is supposed to be kind of dark, but I tried to make the shirt a pale green in order to stand out against all the darker colors, while still kind of keeping that, like, I didn't want it to be super bright because he's not a super bright, exciting character other than his magic, which is the one thing he was proud of, so I wanted to make that stand out in the end. But that's really all there is to his design. It's simple, but I feel like it's fitting, and of course I am willing to hear any like ideas anyone might have to add to his character. But other than that, I think I'm done with him design-wise. I might be done with him entirely now that I think about it. Like, not story-wise, but just talking about him. Like, I've covered his backstory, his personality, and his design. So it might just be up to you guys to finish the rest of the video in the speed paint so you can see like kind of the final look, because the picture at the end is different from the ending of the video, because I do a lot of experimentation when I'm drawing. So a lot of what you see here right now is different by the time you get to the end. And that's really it. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the speed paint. I'll come back at the end to say bye and everything. So yeah.
Let me be your boo, the one you talk to, the one you keep on calling your baby. Let me be your one, the one you can trust, the one you won't take home to your mama.
Alright, well, now we're at the end of the video, and as you can see, like, here I kind of have, like, this reddish purple background gradient thing going on, which is not very appealing to the eye. But at the end, you're going to see the updated version, and it's going to look a lot better, I promise. I definitely made the correct adjustments. I do a lot of experimentation with my drawing, so I didn't want to record all of the experiments that I did. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You're going to have to let me know if, like, making videos about my characters is something you'd be interested in, and if it's something that you'd want to continue watching. Once I am able to build up the income I need, I can get like enough stuff for like a PC and like a tower and everything, and basically like the whole gaming setup, and I can start making gaming videos from there. But I just I'm really excited to kind of get back going and starting off with something that I do like doing, which is art and writing. But other than that, that's kind of all I have for the video. So I hope you all have a great day, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is right now. And remember to drink plenty of water. Anyway, see you later.